and informative.
A very wonderful morning to you and welcome to the News Machine, the Artist News Magazine show on radio, and we are reaching you from our Hot FM stations in Lagos on 93.3 FM, Hot FM Abuja 98.3 FM, and Hot FM Owerri 99.5 FM, 7 a.m. to 7:15 a.m. Monday to Friday. I am Victor Eze. This morning on the News Machine, suspend all actions against Misoma, reps tell JAMB. Federal government may sanction POS agents over price fixing. And FRC says road crashes death declined during Eid al-Kabir. Still in the headlines, climate change seedlings sent to areas affected by Boko Haram. The News Machine will be back after this message.
Now you can get your news on. Hot, fresh, exciting, and exclusive. The News Machine.
Reaching you at the same time in Lagos, Abuja, and Owerri. 3 states for the price of 1. Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 7:15 a.m.
The News Machine. More than just news.
Hot FM.
We are more than just radio.
Welcome back to the News Machine. The House of Representatives has directed the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board (JAMB) to desist from any further action on the issue of the alleged manipulation of the Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination (UTME) result by a candidate, Ms. Ejikeme Mesoma. This followed the adoption of a motion on a call to investigate the alleged manipulation of the UTME by JAMB by Ms. Ejikeme Mesoma, sponsored by Honorable Awaji Inombek Di Abiante. The House also called on JAMB to lift the sanction of barring the candidate from participating in the examination for 3 years and called for independent examiners to examine the girl's script to determine her score. It also resolved to set up an ad hoc committee to investigate the alleged manipulation and report back in 3 weeks. The House also resolved to probe JAMB facilities with a view to averting such a situation in the future. The House expanded the scope of the committee to probe the issue of special centers for examinations in the country, noting that it was aware that Ms. Ejikeme Mesoma of Anglican Girls Secondary School, Newi, Anambra State, sat for the 2023 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examinations and scored 362. The Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission has said that it is investigating price-fixing attempts by point-of-sales agents and will sanction them if they are found guilty. This is following recent announcement by the POS agents under the aegis of the Association of Mobile Money and Bank Agents in Nigeria, Lagos chapter, to increase their transaction charges. According to the Public Relations Officer, Lagos chapter, Stephen Adeoye, POS agents now have new price lists in the state and are working to create a task force to enforce the changes. However, the FCCPC, in a statement signed by its Executive Vice Chairman, Chief Executive Officer Babatunde Irukera, noted that the price fixing is against the law and distorts the market, prevents innovation and efficiency, and also impacts consumers negatively. The Federal Road Safety Corps (FRSC) has said there was a decline in the number of road accidents and deaths recorded during the 2023 Eid al-Kabir celebrations. The agency said during the just concluded celebrations, road crashes reduced by 25%, injuries 43%, while the number of deaths decreased to 53%. In a statement by the Corps Public Education Officer, BC Kazim, FRC attributed the reduction of the agency's revamped operational tactics. He added that 88 people were killed in crashes in 2022 as against the 38 recorded in 2023, while 373 were injured in 2022 as against the 211 recorded in 2023. To ensure a further reduction in crashes on the road, the Corps Marshal urged the public to be disciplined and practice safe road use culture. Over 20,000 seedlings have been distributed to communities affected by Boko Haram in Adamawa State, northeast Nigeria, to help reduce greenhouse gas and soil erosion. Mikicha local government area of Adamawa State is one of the worst 8 communities destroyed by the terrorist Boko Haram group a few years ago. The convener of the seedlings distribution program, Iliya Kwache, says tree planting is very important as it will bring life to the community, improve quality of life and combat climate change and reduce global warming. Iliya Kwache disclosed this at the flag-off of the annual mass tree planting campaign exercise at the old stadium in Mekija local government area of Adamawa State.
Definitely, the fact that we can hold an activity here in Michika today with the press coming from Abuja to cover it tells us that peace is back in Michika. So it is an indication that people are yearning for peace and people are yearning for development.
Earlier within the week, the Adamawa State Governor Ahmadu Fintiri had banned the cutting down of trees within and outside the state capital while giving marching orders to the security agencies to arrest anyone caught violating the order. This is Ngida Zakawa, the district head of Michika.
To you, our subjects, we are telling you, whoever has been stated by the governor, going to our various farmlands and cut down trees. If you are caught, well, you know how you are going to dance that music. So we are warning you and we are telling you, stop cutting trees.
And this is Lama Luka, a stakeholder and resident of Michika.
Of course, it will bring the lost glory because when we plant tree, we have more shade, and even the houses that we have lost some tree, they will have more tree now. We have money shade.
Some of the stakeholders applauded the giant strides of the convener. They promised him to plant trees within the community and stand against whoever is cutting down trees. Now it's time to get the trending stories from our news machine studios at ODFM 98.3 Abuja. Let's hook up with Abuja Report.
Good morning. Here's the news from Abuja. FCT administration has vowed to prosecute the contractor of the ill-fated four-story building which collapsed and injured 9 laborers on Monday afternoon. FCT Permanent Secretary Adeshola Olushade, who made this known during a visit to the site of the collapsed building, said any staff of the administration found to have compromised in the process will not be spared. Adeshola, who stated that no life was lost to the incident, expressed disappointment with the project handlers for sneaking back to the project site during the last Salah holidays to continue the construction despite being advised and served notice to stop work by the project consultant and FCD respectively.
Until further investigation concluded, the site is permanently closed. A caveat will be placed on the plot. The Executive Secretary FCD will chair a technical committee that will evaluate the immediate and remote causes of the collapse, whether from officials of the administration or by external person. You see, the operating practice for the profession of engineers is very clear, and we invoke all these penalties and sanctions when the report is out.
On his part, the Director Development Control, Mukhtar Galadima, who called for the setting up of a high-powered panel to unravel the cause of the disaster, noted that preliminary investigation revealed that when the contractor commenced development, there were observations made by the officers.
A test was conducted to determine the integrity of the structure. The consultant advised him personally that don't do anything on the site, because if you do anything, it's going to collapse. Unfortunately, small cellar break that we resumed on Monday, he was on site. The workers were trying to cast when this unfortunate incident occurred. We need to prosecute the offenders. A high-powered panel investigation should be set up to unravel the whole thing. If there is any compromise among the staff, disciplinary action should be taken.
Speaking at the site, the Director General of FCT Emergency Management Agency, Abbas Idris, announced the suspension of the rescue operation at the site, adding that all 9 persons affected by the incident had been evacuated. Plan International Nigeria, the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, commemorated the International Day of the African Child by launching a simplified version of the Child Rights Act titled the ABC of Child Rights Act. The ABC of the Child Rights Act is aimed at strengthening children's resilience against molestation and abuse, as well as inclusive education through digital learning. Speaking at the event in Abuja, Senior Gender Equality and Social Inclusion Education Manager Chinelo Amechina, who represented the country director of Plan International, Charles Usi, explained that as a mental organization, Plan International is committed to promoting equality by standing against physical abuse and online abuse of children. She explained that digital platforms can have both positive and negative impacts on children and girls, and they believe every child should have a safe space to express their views and discuss issues that concern them, as the Child Rights Act stipulates their rights.
We know that online digital platform brings a lot of positive impact, but it also has its own negative impact, especially on children and girls. So we are actually against that, and we believe that every child should have a safe space to air their views, to talk about issues that concern them. Every form of abuse, putting the girl child or the any child out of school just to get that child married at early stage, that's not what we believe in. We believe that every child should have a right to education, right to health, right to grow and develop. That is our standing.
In her remarks, Senior Education Specialist at UNESCO, Regina Preso, highlighted that education is the most powerful weapon which can be used to change the world, and that the digital space better provides a platform to facilitate this.
UNESCO, the government of Nigeria and other partners is today launching the simplified version of the Rights Act and hosting more than 115 children today, both in and out of school, and some with disabilities, to enlighten them on their rights as provided by the Child Rights Act of 2003. It entrenches the following fundamental rights for the child to education, health, survival, and development, amongst others. This is the beginning of an accountability initiative that is also planned to be shared on the digital space.
She also noted that investing in infrastructure and tools to improve the quality of education of the African child is an investment in the right direction, and funding for digitalization of education sector and integration of functional ICT into education sector will go a long way. Part of the recommendation after the luncheon was a call on the federal government and relevant agencies to impute more funding for digitalization of the education sector and ensure funding availability for infrastructure to achieve it. And that's all from the News Machine studio at Hot 98.3 FM Abuja. I am Kevin Joseph La, over to Lagos.
Alright, let's link up with the News Machine studios at Hot FM 99.5 Owerri for the trending news happening in the southeastern part of the country.
Good morning and welcome to our News Machine studios in Owerri. The Imo State government on Wednesday dismissed the report of an attack by unknown gunmen at the Imo State Secretariat located along Owerri-Port Harcourt Road in the state. The government said this in a statement issued to newsmen in Owerri by Governor Hope Uzodinma's Chief Press Secretary Oguwike Nwachukwu. According to the government, it was a warning gunshot by police who came to the secretariat to arrest the suspect linked to an alleged criminal matter. The Imo State government has promised quick intervention on the gully erosion threatening the people of Ogbo Ancient Kingdom and residents of Ovum Street in Aba North local government area. The senior special assistant to the governor on Aba rejuvenation, Uche Ukeje, gave the assurance when he visited a massive gully erosion site posing imminent threats to lives and property of the residents of the area. Ukeje, who blamed the previous administration for not intervening at the early stage of the menace, assured the people that the Governor Alex Oti-led government would not abandon them. And finally, from Anambra State, the Anambra State government has distanced itself from claims by the Joint Admissions and Matriculations Board, JAMB, that the result of Ms. Mmesoma Ejikeme, a student of Anglican Girls Secondary School in Nnewi, is fake. The Commissioner for Information, Paul Unwosu, in the press release on Wednesday, said that investigation was still ongoing on what transpired about the result when JAMB made a press release condemning the result as fake. The commissioner said that this was more so when it was a student and her school that came to the commissioner to report that she got 362, while JAMB was recognizing someone who scored 360 as the highest scorer. That's all from the News Machine studios at Hot FM Owerri. Back to our studios in Lagos. I am Ifeyunwa Nwana.
You're still listening to the News Machine, reaching you from our Hot FM stations in Lagos on 93.3 FM, Hot FM Abuja 98.3 FM, and Hot FM Owerri 99.5 FM. 7 a.m. to 7:15 a.m. Monday to Friday. Let's hear what correspondent Nesta Sunny has for us on Voices in the News.
Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, speaking at the ceremony to mark Democracy Day on June 12.
Well, June 12 represents a deliberate attempt to enthrone the sanctity of democracy and due process as far as elections are concerned. It also borders on fundamental human rights, the right of people to vote freely and choose their own leaders. The abandonment of this principle led to unprecedented consequences by way of demonstrations when that annulment was made. That was long ago, but we give glory to God that today we are celebrating this very important landmark in the history of our country. Remember, it was in 2019 that President Muhammadu Buhari declared June 12th a work-free day. And by that tradition, the present government is continuing to walk in the steps of the last administration. And the President and Commander-in-Chief, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is regarded as one of the most critical persons in the struggle for the attainment of that mandate. And that is why we're very happy that today he's here as president.
And on the foreign scene, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has welcomed the decision by the High Court in Johannesburg to dismiss the private prosecution case instituted by former President Jacob Zuma. The judge declared the prosecution of President Ramaphosa invalid and unconstitutional. Former President Jacob Zuma turned to the court after blaming President Ramaphosa for failing to act when he told him about prosecutor Billy Dana's alleged misconduct. Jacob Zuma is still fighting to have Dana removed from his arms deal corruption trial. The court has ordered Zuma to pay for the legal costs of Ramaphosa and those of 2 other counsels. And that's a wrap on today's edition of the News Machine. Join us again tomorrow for a fresh edition. Do well to have a beautiful day.